They lit up the silver screen. Their faces were immortalized in black and white dreams. Their voices echoed in cinema palaces around the globe. These were the icons of Hollywood's golden age, dazzling, untouchable, adored. But beneath the shimmer of sequins and spotlight was another reality, one filled with exploitation, loss, and devastating decline. In this episode of Icons Revisited, we delve into the haunting fates of stars who once stood at the pinnacle of fame, but spent their final days battling financial ruin, illness, and obscurity. This isn't just about the fall from grace, it's about the hidden cost of stardom in a system that consumed its brightest lights. Judy Garland, Stardust and Sorrow. She was known around the world as Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz. Judy Garland captivated generations and earned nearly $40 million during her career, an astronomical figure for her time. Yet when she passed away on June 22, 1969, at the age of 47, her estate was worth just $40,000, and her debts over $4 million. Addiction, mismanagement, and years of poor advice chipped away at her wealth. Her third husband, Sid Luft, reportedly spent much of her fortune on failed ventures and personal expenses. In her final days, Judy performed in small venues, often dodging unpaid hotel bills. She sang her heart out in a London nightclub, trying desperately to survive and support her children. Errol Flynn, the swashbuckler's fall. Errol Flynn, the dashing rogue of Hollywood, the sword-wielding hero of Captain Blood and Robin Hood. He lived fast, and he lived big. But when he died in 1959, his estate was worth only $10,000. His lavish lifestyle, yachts, mansions, endless parties, consumed his fortune. Costly divorces and legal battles drained the rest. A failed film project sealed his collapse. By the end, plagued by illness and alcohol, Flynn took minor roles, not for the art, but to survive. Barbara Payton, A Promise. Lost to the shadows. Barbara Payton was a starlet who lit up the screen in the 1950s. In Kiss Tomorrow Goodbye, she seemed destined for stardom, but the shadows grew fast. Substance abuse, violent relationships, legal trouble, arrests and scandals chased away studios. The roles disappeared. The money vanished. By her 30s, Barbara was broke. She walked the streets of Hollywood, a former star, now a sex worker. She died at just 39 in her parents' modest home. No funeral, no fortune, only silence. Roscoe Fatty Arbuckle, fame destroyed by scandal. Roscoe Fatty Arbuckle was a silent film giant, one of the highest-paid stars in Hollywood. Then came the scandal. In 1921, he was accused of rape and murder. He was acquitted, but the damage was done. Studios blacklisted him, audiences turned away. His career was shattered. His legal defense cost over $700,000. He died in 1933 at age 46, in debt and out of work. Dorothy Dandridge, Beauty, Barriers, and Bankruptcy. Dorothy Dandridge was a pioneer, the first Black woman nominated for Best Actress for her role in Carmen Jones. She radiated elegance, but Hollywood wasn't ready. She was given few roles. Her finances were mismanaged. Her marriages were strained and draining. By 1963, she declared bankruptcy. She owed $150,000. In 1965, she was found dead in a modest apartment. Her bank account held just 24 cents. If these stories speak to you, if you believe these stars deserve to be remembered not just for how they fell, but for how they shone, then please subscribe to Icons Revisited. Every week, we honor the untold stories behind Hollywood's brightest legends. Marie Prevost, The Cost of Being Forgotten. Marie Prevost once radiated on screen in films like The Marriage Circle. Audiences loved her charm, but when talkies arrived, her voice didn't translate. Offers vanished. Depression and alcoholism took hold. In 1937, at just 38, she was found alone in a rundown apartment. She had $300 to her name, a once glittering life, extinguished by silence. Sammy Davis Jr., Riches to Ruin. Sammy Davis Jr. lived large. A member of the legendary Rat Pack, he had unmatched talent and charisma. But when he died in 1990, he owed over $7 million in taxes. Despite decades of sold-out shows, poor financial oversight and compulsive spending left him bankrupt. Even as cancer ravaged his throat, Sammy kept performing, driven not by passion, but by debt. Veronica Lake, the forgotten muse. Her peekaboo hairstyle was iconic, her performances magnetic. But by the 1950s, Veronica Lake was broke and struggling. After declaring bankruptcy in 1951, she worked as a waitress in New York to survive. Alcoholism and health issues haunted her final years. She died in a hospital bed in Vermont, with little more than a bank account and a few personal belongings. Keaton was a master of silent comedy and cinematic innovation, but the talkie era restricted his creativity. Studio contracts, the Great Depression, and a costly divorce drained his fortune. He battled alcoholism, but made a quiet comeback through television. He died in 1966, living humbly, though never forgotten. Mabel Normand, comedy's tragic darling. Mabel Normand was fearless, funny, and adored. A trailblazer in early film. But a scandal in 1922 involving the murder of director William Desmond Taylor cast a shadow. She was never a suspect, but suspicion destroyed her career. Tuberculosis soon followed. She died in 1930 at just 37. Terry Thomas smiles through the struggle. British comic Terry Thomas brought charm to every role, but Parkinson's disease ended his career in 1971. His treatment costs soared. He sold nearly everything. Friends organized a fundraiser to help him survive. He died in 1990 in a modest retirement home. Dignity intact, fortune gone. Bud Abbott, the cost of laughter. Bud Abbott, half of Abbott and Costello, made millions. But after World War II, the IRS disallowed key tax deductions. With Lou Costello gone, Bud struggled with health and work. The government seized his home. In desperation, he asked fans for help. He died nearly penniless in 1974. John Garfield, Red Scare casualty. John Garfield lit up screens in the 1940s, but during the Red Scare of the 1950s, he was blacklisted. He refused to name names and became unemployable. Legal fees and lost income mounted. He died at 39. His talent wasn't lost to time, but to fear. Conclusion: the price of the spotlight. Hollywood built dreams, but it also buried many dreamers. Judy Garland, Errol Flynn, Dorothy Dandridge, Barbara Payton. Their stories remind us fame doesn't mean fortune. Spotlights fade, applause stops, but the human story remains. Which of these stories moved you most? Has fame changed, or is the machine still the same? Let us know in the comments. Your voice helps keep these legends alive. And don't forget to subscribe to Icons Revisited. We're here to tell the stories others forget. Thank you for watching.